Welcome, everyone. In this video, we're going to play some more games with the Anti-BizBunk BashGlobe deck. So I've been working on this deck since I last talked about it, and so there's definitely some changes I want to talk through. And so at the high level, the point of this deck is just to have a BashGlobe deck that is as anti-BizBunk as possible. And so, well, maybe not quite all the way to the extreme, but it's really focused on the BizBunk matchup. This deck makes some sacrifices, again, in other matchups, but so you should really only be playing this deck if you're running into a lot of BizBunks on the ladder. In my experience, like the last few days, there haven't been that many BizBunks, but then, right, there are times when I'm facing 50% of my matchups being BizBunk. So if you're feeling that the ladder is very BizBunk heavy, this is a deck you could consider pulling out. And so when you're playing against BizBunk, there's a few different tools that can really help you in that matchup. So in the early game, what you really need to do is remove their Ascending Penguin. And so the way that we do that is we run 4 copies of GotEm, which is not really standard in BashGlobe, and we also run the 4 copies of Popcorn. So with those two, we're running 8 answers to Ascending, so we should theoretically have a good chance at hitting one of those. On top of that, we run Bridge to Layer 0, which we'll talk about. This card is very versatile at all different stages of the matchup, but in the early stage against Ascending Penguin, what you can do is if they've already iced something with like a Brainy Penguin, you can actually switch out their Ascending Penguin with something else, and you'll usually have 2 Blue Pudge by then. Like let's say that you have a SneakyPenguin and a FrostythePenguin. Then in the mid game, we're running Misplace, which is really good at locking out like Ascending Penguin or a Bunkus. Plus, in this deck, the Blue Pudge is actually very useful. And then in the late game, we're running the combo of SilentSnowGlobe with Bashful Swordsman. Now, in general, right, this combo is pretty good against BizBunk because, right, you can shut off their Bunkus as well as their Bismo and pretty much all their other penguins. But, right, the way that BizBunk plays around this win condition is you'll play Bashful Swordsman, Silent Snow Globe, and in response, they'll play their own Bashful Swordsman and then remove your Swordsman with Adventure Squad. So, because of that, we have 2 answers to that. We have SpringaLeak to actually just counter the Ascending Penguin or the Adventure Squad. We also have Misplaced to maybe prevent the Adventure Squad from getting. Oh no, wait, that wouldn't work because right, the Snow Globe will turn off the Misplace. So forget that. So we have the SpringaLeak to counter the Adventure Squad, but then we also have the Bridge to Layer 0, which can either actually just remove their swordsman, or it can actually counter the Adventure Squad by hitting the penguin on the other side of the one on their side of the huddle, which will then make the Adventure Squad fizzle. On top of that, we're also just running the standard, Inspiring Story and SneakyPenguin and FrostythePenguin as kind of the early mid games package. And then, and of course, AmazingPenguin. And then we're also running SerenePenguin, which is something I wasn't running before in this list. Just 3 copies. But right, this just really gives us that like mid game push in some of the other matchups. Against BizBunk, it's not really very useful. And then one other thing I want to call out with Bridge to Layer 0 is you can do this really cool play where if they leave an Ascending on the board and they have like 20 cards in their ice or something like that, you can just pull a Bunkus into the field and it'll trigger the Ascending Penguin. It'll fully ice their deck and then they'll lose at the start of their next turn. So with Bridge to Layer 0, always be on the lookout for that play. And then let's see, what else can we do? Other than that, I think it's pretty much set. We're also playing BounceHouseRod just to help us assemble the right pieces in our hand. And then one other thing to call out is we are playing 2 copies of PenguinWhosOK. Now, this card is not really right. It's not really good in the BizBunk matchup, but I find with this deck, right, to make Bridge to Layer 0 active, you need something in their ice. And so then what can we have in their ice? Well, we can with PopcornPenguin, we can ice some stuff usually, but often then you'll end up bringing back a opposing Popcorn, which in some situations is okay, but some is not okay. You have GotEm, which can definitely pick off something small in the early game. So don't be hesitant to use your GotEm on something small early, just to have something in their ice, because as soon as they play Inspiring Story, GotEm will be useless. So I do find myself using GotEm just to kind of activate Bridge to Layer 0, especially if I don't have a Popcorn in my hand. But yeah, so before I was playing cannonballs in the slot, but I found that the SerenePenguin is actually just much more beefy than the cannonball. And in the mirror matchup is just way, way better. So anyway, so that's why we're playing 2 PenguinWhosOK. Plus, we only have 1 other 2 drop, and we're not running the 1 drop. So I think it's good to have a little more early game. So anyway, that's the list. Let's jump into some games, and we'll see how they go. All right, jumping into the first game. So okay, it looks like we're playing Dioflay, who is someone who used to play a lot of Bismuth, but I've also seen them on BashGlobe as well. So I'm not really sure. So I think maybe we want to keep I think we keep maybe we keep like this. Ugh, it's really hard to tell because if I don't know if they're BizBunk or not. So, right, if they were BizBunk, we would keep the misplace. I like the rest of the hand. So I think we're gonna play more for if it's BashGlobe. But I guess I'll keep the misplace just in case. So, yeah, so we have a good curve against BashGlobe, and we have the popcorn to activate the bridge to layer 0, which is why we didn't really need to play the what's it called? Why we didn't need to play the penguin who's okay. So let's see now. Um if it's BizBunk, then we have right, we still don't have an answer to the ascending, which is kind of a problem. Well, we have like the popcorn, but okay, yeah, so it's not even BizBunk. Okay, so this is not a good matchup for us because right, it's basically going to be a Bash Globe mirror, but in that Bash Globe mirror, we don't have like we have kind of all this like anti-BizBunk tech. So, um so okay, so let's think about how this needs to go. So so we don't need the misplace. We need the popcorn to ice something because right, we need to get a yeah, yeah, because we need a target for bridge to layer 0. So the good news is we'll have okay, so we're gonna go like amazing penguin here because right, we go 3 into 5 into the popcorn. And that'll be good because getting the frosty in the ice is very good. So we are off to the faster start here, but we really what do we really want here? We'll want like a serene penguin, and so okay, so we have the bounce house with the bashful, which is a good start. Okay, so hmm, okay, I'll play the bridge to layer 0 as the rod, even though that could actually be very useful in the end game. Because like what the bridge to layer 0 will enable us to do is on that final turn remove their bashful. But I do have the bounce house. And so one of the nice things about bounce house is it enables us because right, we either want the bashful or the bridge to layer 0 are two good targets for it. And so okay, yeah. So this is one of the this is why the Serene Penguin is so good because it allows them to pull back initiative here. So now if they play a inspiring story, our popcorn won't even be able to hit anything. So yeah, so right, this is but again, right, we're playing the Serene Penguin, so it's not a problem per se. Like we have it in our deck already. It's just we didn't draw it. But yeah, I think the yeah, exactly. So now the popcorn does nothing. Okay, so what's happening here? We got another bridge to layer 0. So do I need to yeah, I really need to be able to use the popcorn, but I don't really see a path. Um, right, because hmm, what is yeah, so well, hopefully they play a popcorn, right? That would be the ideal situation. The ideal situation is they play a popcorn because if they play a popcorn, then we can counter with our popcorn. So most likely they don't think we're playing this version of the deck because it's not very common. Okay, so we also have SpringaLeak, which could be useful, but we need a lot of blue pudge then to use Bridge to Layer 0 and SpringaLeak. But okay, yeah, so they're just going straight. Um, so we have the SilentSnowGlobe, which doesn't help. Yeah, so I think right, the problem is we're gonna have nothing in their ice. Because I need more blue pudge too. So I think I'm gonna just bounce house this turn because I'm gonna need a rod, like, I'm gonna need the bashful. So, yeah, but it's like so next turn they're gonna go for the finish, and there's nothing I can do about it, right? Because I need one more rod. Because really what I need to do is oh, no, no, because if they do snow globe okay, maybe if I get 4 pudge no, but there's no way I can get anything in their ice. So, yeah, yeah, I think there's basically nothing we can do here. Um I mean, we can hope that they play popcorn. If they play popcorn no, but even at this point oh, no, no, right, a popcorn would be fine. But, yeah, so I think yeah, we're just getting straight up run over. Um, okay, Amazing Penguin. Yeah, but it still doesn't help. So, Yeah, because there's just nothing in their ice. So if I would have kept the Penguin Who's Okay at the beginning, right? That is actually right. So if we had the Penguin Who's Okay, so let's think through that. If I had kept the Penguin Who's Okay at the beginning, then I would have okay, so they're just going here. Okay, wait, so they didn't. Okay, so what's their plan? I don't really follow because they're at 14 and they played the Bashful Swordsman. So they're gonna play. Oh, they're gonna play Keep Digging. I see. Okay, so if they play Keep Digging, um, yeah, so we can play double swordsman, I guess. Right? Because if we play double swords or okay, wait, let's play because if they play Keep Digging, we'll play SpringaLeak against it. Um, so yeah, so let's go this, and I think at this point the popcorn is just not happening. Okay, because right, yeah. So I think they're gonna play Keep Digging. Right. The idea is right that they play Keep Digging, which would then let the Serene Penguin win the vibe check. Oh, okay, or hit the high note. Okay, so hit the high note. So do I want to? Hmm. I think I'm okay if this gets bounced. Right. What am I missing here? I feel like I'm missing something because I just don't understand this line. Because if they play hit the high note here, um, yeah, I guess I really don't understand what I'm missing because they will they will get the right. I guess I have to play Keep Digging, right? Yeah. Okay. So then we will spring a leak the Keep Digging because we definitely don't want to lose our swordsman, but we'll still win the vibe check. Okay. So now, had I kept the popcorn, it would have been good. I guess. Yeah, I needed to keep the popcorn. Okay. Well, okay. So I was yeah, okay. So I saw the Keep Digging coming, but I wasn't thinking about hit the high note because the problem now is um yeah, I still have nothing in there. Okay, so I drew the popcorn again. Okay, so if I inspiring story popcorn, I think I think that will help, right? I think that's and then I think I'll use the I don't need the snow globe, right? There's no reason for the snow globe. Well, but they will probably snow globe. So in that case, does having two but if they snow globe, I lose, right? Because there's no yeah, so I think I'll go like this, but I think it's pretty yeah, there's no I still don't see a pat. If they have snow globe, I lose. Um, so let's see. Okay, they didn't have snow globe. All right. Um, but okay, if they have spring a leak here. Okay, wait. So I didn't consider that they didn't have snow globe. So would in the world where they didn't have snow globe, would a different play have helped? Um, so around spring a leak, if I would have kept the snow globe, no. Okay, so I basically yeah, right. So if they have what's it called? Um, they have spring a leak, then I lose here. Right? Because they spring a leak this, and then right, and then my bashful okay, but they don't have okay. What am I missing here? Wow, okay, so I did not expect to win this game. Um, or am I even gonna win it? Yeah, because 15, bashful ices itself. And then yeah, so okay, so all right. I'm I'm a little shocked that okay, so obviously that was not a game we were in a favored position to win. Right, because the Serene Penguin we didn't have a good answer to the Serene Penguin. Now, I think we did do a good job in terms of like we saw the keep digging coming, but I wasn't thinking about the hit the high note, keep digging combo. So I think that's one piece where had I thought about that, I'm not sure I would have played about it differently. I think this also just brings up a really important point with this BashGlobe deck is you cannot play. It's not like a control deck where you can play around all possibilities. What you really have to do is you just have to go for it. And so, like, on that final play, it was like, if they have Snow Globe, like, it's like, I can't beat Snow Globe. So therefore, I just have to assume that they don't have it. Right. And that ended up working out well for us. I also couldn't beat SpringaLeak. So, so it was kind of a play where it's like, which are two cards that are definitely in this deck. Now, I think something else I'll say is that I do think the Keep Digging version of this deck is very strong. I think that's definitely the strongest. I'll call it just like against the broad base of matchups. I'm gonna do a video on that later, that version. So what I really like, yeah, so okay, so but what we can see here is that the anti-BizBunk list is able to beat the list that's definitely really focused on the mirror match. Because right, hit the high note is such a good card in the mirror. So I do think that it shows that this isn't like you're not like automatically losing, but you did see that like my misplaces were useless, GotEm would have been useless. So we're running a lot of dead cards in this matchup. Now that being said, I think the one other thing is if I would have not mulliganed the penguin who's okay at the beginning or played it as a rod, um, I think the Penguin Who's Okay would have would have really helped because that would have because the whole time I was really, really struggling. Oh, and on top of that, that I had to top deck that popcorn. So I shouldn't have played the popcorn as the rod. Now I got really lucky. So again, I would say that there near the end of that game, basically for me to win, I had to top deck the popcorn. They had to not have bash globe, not have snow globe, and they had to not have what's it called? SpringaLeak. So 3 things had to go right. They all went right. So I'm gonna yeah. Anyway, let's jump to the next game. But that was definitely a very exciting one that I don't think I should have won. But that's the whole point of card games. Same thing happens the other way. Sometimes like your opponent has just the perfect stuff, or you just draw bad. So anyway, we'll take the victory when we get them. All right, on to the next one. All right, taking a look at the next game. So I think I will keep the penguin who's okay this time. So let's look at our hand. So we've got the 2 into 3 into 4. So I think we just get rid of the swordsman. One thing I do debate when playing this deck is do you just actually want to keep the like final cards? Because actually, yeah, so because we're playing BounceHouseRod, is it right to keep the okay, we don't need the second penguin who's okay. Is it right to keep the swordsman because we'll know we'll play that as a rod? And then it's like we actually make all the bounce houses another swordsman for later. Or is it better to actually just dig for a better early game? And I guess because we had a good early game already, like we already have the curve. Um, yeah, I think it actually would have been right to keep the swordsman. So let's see what we're playing here. I'm gonna assume it's not BizBunk, just because, well, it's just unlikely. Just based on well, maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it'll be BizBunk. I'm just feeling like because I'm trying to play BizBunks. Because usually when I play this deck, what happens is I play like I don't play it until there's a lot of BizBunks out on the ladder. Um so okay, so let's see. So maybe it's the mirror or yeah, so I'm not gonna use the GotEm yet, just because I really want to see because if this is BizBunk, I would rather save the GotEm for the Ascending Penguin. So there's a chance this is BizBunk. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go first with which direction to do this. So let's see. Okay, so Bashful Swordsman still doesn't help me figure out who it is. But I guess on their turn. Oh, I just completely skipped my turn. I was so focused on the wow, okay, so that is really bad. Um so I'm not sure if that's recoverable. Just fully skipping a turn is pretty unacceptable. Um, okay, so there's really no point to use the GotEm. Okay, so oof, okay, so I skipped a turn. So this is yeah, okay, so I was so focused on that. Okay, so that is pretty unexcusable. Um, so we'll see if we're gonna pay the price for this. because I don't really see how we aren't going to. Hmm. Okay, so I'm not happy about skipping that turn, but there's nothing I can do about that now. And okay, so we will. All right, so at least we're gonna let this popcorn will fizzle, right? Because we'll play the amazing penguin here, then the popcorn will hit the penguin who's okay, and then next turn we'll play the inspiring story. So maybe maybe there's some small world where I mean it's definitely still possible to win. It's Serene Penguin would have been a nice card to get. But okay, so the fact that they're playing Penguin Who's Okay means that this is definitely a deck that's playing Bridge to Layer Zero. Um, so okay, so I have a lot of GotEms. So then the question is, right? Oh well, they're gonna play Inspiring Story for sure. So if I wanted to use a GotEm, but I think using a GotEm is like really bad when you're behind on rods. Now I will say it's like I've almost caught up. Well, I have caught up on rods. So I guess skipping the turn wasn't so bad. Um, and so now the question is, do I want to actually get rid of the penguin who's okay? Because it does also remove a blue pudge. But no, I don't think so because I have my popcorn. So I think I'm going to play popcorn this turn. And so that means even if they play inspiring story, okay, I guess hit the high note. Yeah, so then it's definitely good I didn't play the what's it called? Didn't play the GotEm because I'm gonna need every rod I can get. But okay, so we're kind of even on rods. I do want multiple pudge. Like I want more blue pudge, but I guess I don't really have. It doesn't really matter because I don't control this. So if so Frosty the Penguin. Okay, so I don't think I need all these bridge to layer zeros because there's actually nothing good in their ice. So well, do I just play the popcorn this turn? Because if I play the popcorn, um, yeah, I guess I could play the popcorn with the Frosty this turn. Because I could play popcorn and Frosty, and then I can actually bridge to layer zero the Serene Penguin. And then so even if they play an inspiring story, I'll have control over it. So okay, so maybe this was still good. Yeah, I think the two bridge to layer zeros is not bad because I could definitely use one here. Okay, so they have their own popcorn. So the question is, so should I get rid of the penguin who's okay? If I get rid of the penguin who's okay, and then bridge to layer zero, no, I think I just have to get rid of their popcorn. Um, but I could get rid of their penguin who's okay as well. So let's do that because that's also going to flop the Serene Penguin, and I want to keep yeah, I want to keep winning the vibe check. I think so. One of the nice things with the GotEms is right the bridge to layer zero. I can bridge to layer zero and then GotEm. So is there anything? Because now, yeah, now there's the penguin who's okay in here. So a bridge to layer zero is more useful. But I think I'll just take my extra turn. So because I really want to play the swordsman. But the downside of playing the swordsman is if they what's it called? Yeah, if I play the swordsman and then I bridge to layer zero to flop it, right? If they have a what a twist, it can still end up icing itself. So I don't really want to do that. Yeah, so it's good. Okay, so inspiring story was coming. So now the question is, do I actually want to? Well, I'm going to lose this vibe check. So I think, hmm. So I think yeah, because I don't have that much blue pudge, I think this is a good turn to get rid of the Serene Penguin. Um, and And then do I wanna just ice the penguin who's okay? I think so. I think I'll bring back the penguin who's okay, and then I will GotEm the penguin who's okay. Because yeah, I think there's still 2 turns left, right? Because there's no way at 9 with 9 because 'cause they'll have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So theoretically, I don't see really a world where they can play all 3 cards And so we have 2 more turns. So this first turn is gonna be the turn where we play the Inspiring Story. And then next turn will be the one where we play the Swordsman. Okay, and we have the BridgeWithLayerZero and the SpringaLeak. But okay, so they're at 11. So how's card advantage? Well, card advantage, we're tied on card advantage, right? 11, 12, 13, 14, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I'll draw 1, 13. Okay, so we're tied on card advantage, and we're going to be tied on Inspiring Stories. But, yeah, we have the SpringaLeak. So let's think. Right, because we can deal on that final turn, we have the BridgeWithLayerZero. So as long as we have the Swordsman, and I want to actually keep losing the vibe check would actually be good, because I want to have. Okay, so they're going to play the Swordsman here. Okay, because they're worried about me, or they're going to play keep digging. Okay, so right. Okay, so I think the point of this is they're going to play keep digging, and so if they play keep digging, I could. Okay, so do I want to? Well, either way, I want to play the Inspiring Story, and that means I'm gonna. Well, I could still lose the vibe check, right? Because if they play keep digging, I can counter it with SpringaLeak, or I can just let them remove. Because if I win the vibe check and I play the Swordsman, it'll be on my side and we'll be tied. But I could just get rid of the Swordsman. Yeah, so if they play keep digging, well, do I want the popcorn? Because the popcorn next turn, no, because I'm gonna lose. Well, yeah, they're gonna have initiative. So I think we don't need the popcorn. I think if they play keep digging, I'm going to just get rid of their Swordsman. Wait, how are we behind 1 card? So actually, we're behind 1 card, right? 13 to 14. So somehow we went behind on a card advantage. Oh, I could have. Oh, because when I do the bridge to layer 0, it's negative card advantage. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so now here the question is: so we could just counter this, right? If we counter this, yeah, because I want them to actually have initiative, and we still have the bridge to layer 0 for the final turn. Okay, so I think this is good. I think we just counter this, and then right going into the final turn, we have our own swordsman and we have bridge to layer 0. But we're gonna need 2 more turns, I think. So yeah, because right, we need. Yeah, but if this goes for 2 more turns, right, the swordsman ends up. Right, if this is Snow Globe here, let's say that this is Snow Globe. Well, yeah, so if they go move. Popcorn is not good, but all right, so we can do misplace. So we can do misplace on keep digging. Right. So if we do misplace on keep digging, then we can see. So yeah, okay, so let's see. So if we lose this vibe check, all right, so because we have 2 options. So we could bridge to layer 0 here. Okay, but or we could let their swordsman ice it. So if we let their swordsman ice itself, the um the popcorn will just keep being a problem for us. But we get rid of the swordsman. Or we can get rid of the. Yeah, because this popcorn is gonna continue to be a problem. Or we could just get rid of the popcorn. Um but they might have SpringaLeak. Yeah, I think we just. Oof. Yeah, I think we just let the swordsman go, and we lose another to the popcorn. Because right, because if they had SpringaLeak, this would be a problem. Now, okay, so we have Frosty. Okay, so Frosty will buy us 1 more turn against the popcorn, but yeah, the problem is, um, okay, so they have another swordsman. Okay, so here we should be able to. Okay, so I think. So at this point, I think we just play everything because they're out of cards. So, okay, so let's think about how this turn needs to go. So we want them to win the vibe check with the swordsman, and we want to get rid of the popcorn, which we can do with bridge to layer 0. So I think we're fine. Okay. Yeah, because basically what happens is we'll do bridge to layer 0 on the popcorn, I think. Yeah, we'll do bridge to layer 0 on the popcorn, and then we'll remove it with a GotEm. And then that should enable us. Yeah, so I think we'll do bridge to layer 0 on the popcorn, and then we'll get rid of it with the GotEm. And I think we'll let their bashful, right? There's no rods that will cause problems for us. Yeah, because there's no, like, what a twist. This plays fine for what a twist. Okay, so we put the penguin who's okay. Oh yeah, so what we would lose to, well, no, because if they have to use their not a rod anymore here, then they're at 14, and then the bashful ends up losing. So okay, so we do end up getting control here. Like, we have the better position. So maybe we shouldn't have played the bashful, because the problem is now our bashful will ice itself too. So we do have. So the nice thing is we have SpringaLeak. Okay, so we have a new GotEm, but that doesn't. At this point, where GotEm is pretty useless. Okay, so what are they going to misplace? It's going to be interesting. Right. Well, we're going to be bigger for one turn, but then after that, they're going to be bigger again, because we're going to win this vibe check, but we're going to have 14 total, but we won't be able to actually win the game. So we have to draw something good. Like a snow globe would be amazing here. But right, okay, they can also select which card to stop. I bet you we have. Okay, so let's see what they picked. PopcornPenguin. Okay, so because PopcornPenguin. Okay, but so InspiringStory is actually very good, because what InspiringStory will enable us to do is tie the vibe check, right? Because we're going to win the vibe check here with Bashful Swordsman. And then, right, then we're going to have the tiebreaker. So, but we're going to lose the swordsman, be down at 11. So then the question is going to be, yeah, so we're at such a card disadvantage because of the bridge to layer zeros, but they were very interesting in this game. So, okay, so now the question is, okay, so no popcorns can be played. So SpringaLeak. So what is SpringaLeak good for, really, against their deck? Okay, so Snow Globe. So do I want to play the Snow Globe or not? And I think, so the question is, okay, I think I just want to play, because I'm saying, basically, if they drew Bashful Swordsman, I'm going to lose, or if they drew SerenePenguin. But if they drew that, I'm going to lose anyway. So I think I just want to go on 14, just to be on 14. And let's see what they've got. Because swordsman, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 swordsmen in their ice. So that's okay, nice. So, oh wait. I was not thinking, because we're just going to tie the vibe check, right? We're not going to win the vibe check. Okay, so that was a bit premature on the snow globe, I guess. Because we're going to tie here, right? So we each get one more draw. I'm going to win unless they draw a SerenePenguin. So holding the snow globe back, what would that have helped? Well, it definitely helped against the popcorn. No, I'm not sure. Okay, well, AmazingPenguin, either way, would have not made a difference. So let's see what they draw. There's a lot of cards out of this for them, but PenguinWhosOK is not one of them, I don't think. So I think we got this. Wow, another nail biter. And okay, so we've played basically this bad mirror matchup twice against 2 people who I think Dioflay is the #1 ranked person, and Saint Judd I think is in the top 8. So I mean, we've played 2 very good people, and we've come out on top both times with this version of the deck, which is not designed for this matchup. And on top of that, this game, we skipped a turn. Maybe I'm missing something. But yeah, so we also skipped turn 3. So I think this is, I'll take it. again, I think, right, there were a lot of draws they had out of this, but again, the bridge to layer zeros, you could see that they were very impactful in that game because, like, what did they do there? They basically enabled me to, like, mess around with their side of the board and get all of their Bashful Swordsman iced. I think we played our Bashful Swordsman too quickly because we didn't have to play it that turn, and we could have saved it for, like, the final turn, like, or, like, after we got the Snow Globe. And, yeah, I think, and playing that popcorn as a rod, that was also probably incorrect because, right, we played the popcorn as a rod, and then they played their popcorn, and then their popcorn got, like, several. I think it got was like a 3-for-1 on their part. Like, if we look at the final card advantage, it's 18 to 15, so we're down 3. Well, and I guess we play 2 bridge. So the popcorn 2-for-1, and then each of our own bridge to layer 0 is basically 1-for-0'd. So, well, anyway, we'll take it. All right, let's jump to the next game. All right, jumping to the next game. So I think in this case, because we definitely don't have a good start. Well, this is, I always wonder, like, do we just keep this swordsman snow globe combo? Let's try that. I always debate this because, right, this deck really thrives on just playing that on the turn you close out the game. And so here we have it already in our hand. And so it's like, is that like, do you play this deck like a combo deck where it's just like, hey, I'm trying to collect all the pieces of the combo? Like, I'm trying to collect basically because the combo is swordsman, snow globe, and then you have the SpringaLeak to defend it in general, or maybe the bridge to layer 0 to defend it. So you say, like, okay, so do I play it like a combo deck where I'm like assembling pieces? Or do I play it like a mid-range tempo deck that just happens to be a way that you can close out the game, but it's not really critical to it? Um, so I'm not really sure, but let's try to play it like the combo deck version. Okay, so is this a BizBunk? Is the question. So I think either way, we have one bridge to layer 0. So we'll see. We'll see when the turn rotates. Um, So is this a bridge to layer 0 BashGlobe deck? I'm hoping it's a BizBunk because I want to play that matchup. But let's see. Okay, so it is a BizBunk. Okay. So let's see. All right, so the question is, are we good on BizBunk? Okay, so in the BizBunk matchup, what are we looking for here? So we really want the misplaces. So the nice thing is we have 2 GotEms already, which means that the ascending penguin. Yeah, so this is why I'm kind of thinking holding the snow globe and the bashful is just bad. I think in real time I'm kind of coming to that conclusion because, right, what do we want here now? We actually don't, because we want those at the end of the game. I think you kind of want to collect them throughout the game because, right, what do we want here? We want um we would love a popcorn. Like, popcorn would be amazing. We want what's it called? We want a misplace. A misplace would be amazing. So, all right, so because we have the snow globe, we're not so worried about them comboing us. And right, we have the bridge to layer 0 to protect it. Um and we have the inspiring story to make it bigger. So, I'm not sure, right? So like the BizBunk, the bunkus is not really a problem. Now the one thing is we don't have we don't play hit the high note because we're not playing the 1 drop and only 3 SerenePenguin. So we're definitely not in the situation where we can bounce our own inspiring story. So let's think about the timeline. Okay, so we have the SpringaLeak as well. I think we don't need to play a rod because, okay, so how many turns? We're going to keep winning the vibe check. So we're at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's going to be 2 more turns. So we'll get to 8 rods in 2 turns. Because, right, the idea is ideally we play it in 2 turns. Like, now the ascending penguin is going to come down. Yeah, we're going to probably need actually 3 turns even. Well, okay, yeah, so we might lose the rods. Yeah, but so if the ascending comes down, we have to use the rods. It's going to be 3 turns. So yeah, so okay, so yeah, so if it's 3 turns with us losing 2 rods, then we'll win 3 vibe checks maybe, or 2 vibe checks. So I think we're okay not to play the rod. I want to keep the bridge to layer 0 for that potential play. Although it's going to be difficult to do it because, right, if we play bridge to layer 0 in order to bring the bunkus in if there's an ascending on the board, then the question is going to have to be, yeah, and a popcorn would be so nice. Then the question is going to be, what's it called? If we do that, right? If they then have an adventure squad, if they have an adventure squad, they can counter the play. So, all right, so they're like not going to be far from. Do I have, yeah? So there's ascending. So they must really be digging for an ascending penguin because, right? So we just need to be careful not to lose all on one turn, which means they need 6 rods to do that if the ascending is not on the board. Okay, so what do I really want? I want more blue pudge, and I want more and a popcorn. So yeah, so I think the popcorn is good. So I think we'll start the popcorn, and we want to I think we want to pick off um, we'll pick off the purple pudge because I don't want them to be able to play 2 adventure squads on the final turn. So, all right, so what action are they going to pick? Okay, well, if they get an adventure squad, then okay, so anyway, so let's get rid of yeah, I think we want to get rid of the purple pudge. And if they play adventure squad, we have the GotEm in order to yeah, in order to counter the yeah. I think we want to keep the popcorn alive. So let's just do that. It might be wrong because if the ascending penguin comes, then that would be a problem. So now do we go all in? Yeah, I think we can go all in on this. Now the funny thing is if they do it one more time, the adventure squad will actually result in them yeah, if they did it one more time, right, the adventure squad would result in their penguin getting iced anyway. So okay, so it's a little sad that we've lost so many rods. Okay, I think we need to start playing rods now for sure. Okay, so how many cards are in their ice? 26. So okay, so we'll play the penguin who's okay because we need the extra pudge. So 26. Yeah, so if they play in a well, they're not gonna be able to play an ascending penguin this turn. So but next turn, okay, so if I'm at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, so next turn, we'll have 15. So next turn, if we go for it. So okay, so I think we just do the bridge to layer 0 because that means next turn we will, yeah, we're giving up on the bridge to layer, yeah, because 10, we get the 2 rods. Yeah, so we go for the win next turn. So this is a, so this calculates out that we can go for the win, and we just need to keep them off of purple pudge for the, what's it called? For the, we need to keep them off purple pudge for the adventure squad. But right, yeah. Because one adventure squad we can handle with SpringaLeak, but the second adventure squad we would have problems with. Well, not the second one. So right, well, so how could we lose if we do the turn next turn? Right, they're going to play the swordsman, and then they try to adventure squad. Okay, so they're going to basically stop us. Okay, so this is an interesting play from them because right they are right because they can maybe play the ascending next turn. So if they play the ascending next turn, is it going to force us to snow globe? And then because we'll lose otherwise, right? Yeah, so this is interesting. So yeah, so this is maybe a good play from them. Because then I think we'd have to, well, we could still, right? If they just play the ascending, we can still do just, no, we need something smaller. We would need a Frosty. Yeah, so they're going to go for, well, let's see, 34. Yeah, and then if they have a second ascending, they can win. So that means we have to snow globe here. But if we snow globe, we can't close out the game. So that is very unfortunate. So yeah, okay, so let's think this. So this would be the perfect if I had the bridge to layer 0 here, this would be the situation where I can use the bridge to layer 0. Yeah, yeah, so if I got, like, a bounce house, I could get the bridge to layer 0 back, and then I can basically I could deck them here. Okay, so but are they gonna I guess I'm not really following what's happening here. Because are they just gonna deck themselves here? Because also if all their bunkuses are on the board, yeah, so I think they just lose? What am I missing here? Yeah, okay, so I think okay, so I do think this was okay, so let's think about what would have happened here. So, let's look at the board. So, right, if they just had stayed with one bunkus, then we couldn't have done our combo. So if we drew a bridge to layer 0 or a bounce house, we would have won because we could have decked them. So that's like okay, so that's advantage 1. So, yeah, so if we did bridge to layer 0 with bunkus, or on with the ascending on the board, that would have won us the game. So I think that's one argument why I should have maybe held on to the bridge to layer 0. I should have also probably keeping the popcorn alive was good, I think, because it basically put pressure on them. But if I had a GotEm left, I could have tried to GotEm the sending. But even removing the sending, right, I would have removed it with popcorn anyway. So I think it's good I used the GotEms like I did. But that one turn I didn't play a rod, I probably should have played a rod. Because had I played a rod then, I would have yeah, I would have been able to be at 8 rods. So I think I was kind of just like perfectly calculating out, like, I want to end the game with exactly 8 rods on that final turn, but I wasn't thinking about that they would win that vibe check from me. And the fact that they won that vibe check just by playing the bashful down, because they saw what I was trying to do, that kind of put the situation in not a good place for me. But so I think keeping bashful and snow globe, I've kind of decided that's not the right play. Maybe if I knew it was a matchup, but even in the BizBunk matchup, like I do think the misplace route actually, and we didn't see a single misplace because like had we seen a misplace, there's a lot we could have like if we would have hit Bismo, for example, at that point in the game, that would definitely have caused problems for them. So anyway, okay. So I'm not sure. Anyway, okay. So we did face the matchup we wanted to face and we won that. So that's good. And then we also played 2 times the most common matchup right now, and we won both of those, but both those games were very tight. And I would say if you're thinking about the mirror match, I would not run the list like this. This is really the anti-BizBunk list. So anyway, all right. So thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.